Hello, today I'm going to be talking about my Razer Naga Hex V2 after 1 year of use. So I guess let's just dive right in. Okay, so my setup currently uses a laptop. It's an Acer Nitro 5 or whatever. It has some pretty good stuff. It has, I think, a GTX 1080. I forget off the top of my head. I got a Stream Deck thing. I got just a Red Dragon mousepad, pretty much just normal standard stuff. We get a nice hard mat for the mousepad, so your mileage may vary for how well this glides. But we're going to go on to the mouse. So essentially, even though it's named the Razer Naga Hex, it has 7 buttons on the side with a grippy surface in the middle. I find myself using that actually a lot, surprisingly. I thought I wouldn't. But if I'm not using that, then I just rest my finger on my thumb on like one of the buttons, especially number 1. Then at the top here, we got just, normal stuff. It works. It still goes strong. But you will notice every so often there are little peelage across the skin, but that is pretty recent, so it isn't that expensive for its lifetime, as the RGB, as you can see, is very, very strong still, and is super customizable within Synapse 3. This also does left and right functionality, but I find it's a bit too risky to do that, because you could accidentally just push it in instead. So, I just never really use that. These are DPI functionality, just the standard stuff. And then over here, we have this little rest for the ring finger. And I find that it is actually extremely useful. Normally with mice, it's a bit uncomfortable to hold with my kind of large hands. And this is incredibly comfortable to hold with, like, anything. And over here with the peeling, your hand covers it when in use, so you don't even get really bothered by any of that. To be honest, the RGB doesn't bother me at all, but I will say that the sensor being at 1600 DPI is like way too much. Like, no, I don't think many people actually need that. I personally use it for video games such as like Fortnite or something, because not many people play on the Minecraft server that I currently play on. But it's useful for pretty much everything, especially MOBAs, as it's listed on the listing for the device itself. But yeah, currently I think they're out of stock, and they've been for a while, but I just love this. If you're thinking about getting something like this, then I would say get the Razer Naga Trinity, as it has this button, this array of buttons, and also 2 other versions with more or less buttons sometimes. And that pretty much has the same functionality, except it's not exactly the Razer Naga Hex. But yeah, overall it's very good. It has nice grips, it has pretty much everything, and often I find myself really hard to find mice that fit well and have great use. But these buttons are so useful. You wouldn't believe how useful they are. Like, I've literally never used these keys right here in my life. It feels like, at least. But yeah, also a few other things. I'm not sure what these little grills are for, but they look cool, so not complaining. And then over here we got the sort of things that this mouse glides on. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it's not super smooth. It's sort of like nearly crunchy. But I guess that's sort of because of this hard mat thing. But yeah. So an example of in-game, if I wanted to switch to my gun, I could just go like that. Just super easy. It's way easier than having to like stop walking to like switch to that, You know what I'm saying? Or if you rebind it to some other key. It just feels a lot easier than that. Yeah, it is a wired mouse. It has a braided cable. It is long enough for pretty much anything. And yeah, I guess another note is you may need to clean these after a while of usage, because they keep getting all dirty and scratched up. But there are some listings on eBay for new ones that you can just replace these with. So I haven't personally tested them, so your mileage may vary, but it's still pretty cool. Yeah, that is the Razer Naga Hex V2. I'll see you guys later. Subscribe, I guess.